The story we're going to tell today. It's called 8 Coffins. 8 dry corpses. In the city. Several excavators are roaring. Working day and night. Pan, who works the night shift. He came to the city with. They met their hometown friend, Ah Hao. In the dormitory, they're cleaning up. Putting on their work clothes and equipment. Grab your helmet on the way out. Pan. When do you think this project will be completed? Preferably by the end of the year. That way we can get paid and go home for the new year. Ah Hao is walking and talking. Alas. I don't think so. Although the salary is good. But it's too tiring. What about me? I'm going back home to find something else to do after this. Why don't you come back with me? I'd like to help you start a small business. Pan replied with a sigh. Because the foundation is still being laid at the beginning of the project. The two of them were chatting and laughing. They walked slowly towards the construction site. The machines are still working non-stop. Pan put on his helmet. Climbed into the cab of an excavator. Skillfully operating the machine. This big guy is digging here. Digging there. Slowly driving towards the center of the construction site. Shovel by shovel. Repeating this action over and over again. It's getting deeper and deeper. There was a thump. Hey, hey, hey. I can't dig any deeper. I think I've hit something. Pan thought to himself. He got off the excavator and went to check it out. Years of experience told him. He might have hit something. It must be a rock or something. He bent down. And he digs with his hands. There was a foot of wood showing. The more he thought about it, the more it didn't look right. Hey, ho. Come over here. See what's here. Pan shouted to Ah Hao. Other workers have also gathered around. This can't be. We all know what's going on. But they're not sure. Because construction workers are afraid of such unlucky things. Something unlucky. I'm afraid of digging up something unlucky. Everyone immediately brought shovels and started digging. Everyone's back was shivering. They didn't dare to slow down. Look. There's something here too. One of the workers said on the other side. That's it. Everyone was busy digging for about 2 hours. They stood there dumbfounded. Looking at the things they dug up in front of them. 8 coffins. An invisible pressure pressed on their hearts. They felt like they were suffocating. Hurry up and call the boss. Let's see what we can do about this. Pan immediately said to the others. Not long after. The boss came running through the door. Seeing his appearance. He was also shocked by what he saw. He went back and forth in front of them for a moment to think about it. You guys. Burn all 8 coffins tonight. If this gets out, we'll be finished. You won't get any money. What are you waiting for? Go now. The boss is telling us to go. I can hear him. He was trembling in his voice. They had no choice. Reluctantly, they carried the coffins to no man's land. And burned them. Look at their eyes, they're all wide open. Ah Hao pointed to the burning coffins. Although they're completely disfigured. But it's easy to see. All 8 corpses seem to have their eyes wide open. Okay, don't look. Let's go, it's too bad luck. After Pai finished his speech, everyone ran to the dormitory without stopping. No one wants to stay any longer. If you have a coffin, burn it yourself. Finally, we got back to the dormitory. Everyone was out of breath. Once in the dormitory, everyone started talking. The more they talked, the more strange it became. They said that if they dig up something, they have to worship it and can't burn it. They said it would cause bloodshed and so on. Each one was more bizarre than the other. Stop it. We're all tired. Let's get some rest. Tomorrow, we'll pretend nothing happened. We still have work to do. Go to sleep now. Pan said to them. In fact, he's wondering about it himself. I'm afraid there'll be some kind of retribution for this. But he didn't dare to think about it. He could only pretend that nothing had happened. But Pan couldn't sleep. He always has something on his mind. He had a premonition that something bad would happen. Because what they saw, wasn't it a sign that he'd die in peace? And so it was. Sooner or later, what's meant to be is meant to be. They don't know they're in trouble. Don't you see something different today? Ah Hao said. Because of this incident, the whole dormitory can't sleep. I feel different too. The 8 workers next door snore every day. It's deafening. Why are they so quiet today? One of the workers said. Yes, there can't be no noise at all, right? Playing cards, he said. The words just fell. There were footsteps from next door. A lot of footsteps. Then the door knocked twice. Is he going to the restroom? He couldn't have gone to the bathroom with 8 people. Pan was surprised. Let's go. Let's take a look. It's so late. Let's see what they're up to. Ah Hao suggested. Everyone nodded. Cautiously opened the door and followed them. Daphne and the 8 people in Ah Hao's dormitory followed the 8 people from the next dormitory further and further away. Isn't this where they burned the coffins? What are they doing back here? Ah Hao asked. Pan was also full of questions. Only to see those 8 workers standing in front of the burnt coffins. They didn't move a muscle. They're still giggling, even if they were sleepwalking. It's not possible to have 8 people together. It's too weird. Let's go back. This is too creepy. Tomorrow we'll ask them what they're doing here. One of them suggested it. So we all left. Back to the dormitory. I couldn't calm down for a long time. While Daphne and the others were discussing. The 8 of them were discussing. I heard 2 more thuds next door. Looks like they're back. Pan and the others were relieved. The next day. Why did you go to the coffin yesterday? I don't know. All 8 of them gave the same answer. It seems they really don't remember. Why did they go there even if they were sleepwalking? It's the same place. The person who knocked over the dormitory. Look at the workers next door. They should be working. There seems to be no problem. Are we thinking too much? Ah Hao said to Pan. Maybe. By midnight. Pan was sleeping well. I don't know what happened. He felt dizzy for a while. Then he didn't know anything. Waiting for him to wake up. What is this place? Why does his head hurt so much? Pai shook his head. A strong smell of gasoline filled his nostrils. He woke up with a start. His hands had been tied. He was tied up with 8 others in the same dormitory. And gasoline had been poured over his body. Hey, wake up. Wake up. They woke up one by one. Pan, what is this place? Why are we tied up here? Ah Hao asked Pan. But how would Pan know? When we looked at him. Isn't this the place where the coffins were burned? There are still charred and blackened corpses on the ground. They thought about how to untie the rope. Suddenly there were footsteps. The 8 workers from next door came out. They came to them with burning sticks in their hands. What are you doing? Let us go. Pan shouted. But no matter how they shouted, the 8 men looked as if they were possessed. They smiled at them strangely. Then they threw fire sticks at them. One after another, they cried their hearts out. Echoed through the night. Until the 8 men were charred works of art. It takes 8 people to die to make it go away. Because it was 8 coffins in the first place. All right, listeners. That's it for this episode. Thank you for listening.